Every woman has a story, one of courage, resilience, and change. Some fought for truth. Some lifted a nation. Some built something bigger than themselves. But none of them waited for permission to be heard. This Women's Month, the Pod Network, in partnership with Hit Productions, honors Filipino women who spoke up, stood up, and changed the game. Because women who talk know how to listen. This is Hear Her Story. Lea Salonga, a voice that broke barriers. She didn't just sing, she shattered expectations. As a Filipina, she took the Broadway stage and made history, winning a Tony Award for Miss Saigon and giving life to Disney's most beloved princesses. But beyond the spotlight, she used her voice for something greater, championing representation, uplifting artists, and proving that talent knows no borders. Because when women dare to take up space, the world listens. This is her story. This Women's Month, we celebrate voices that inspire. At the Pod Network, together with Hit Productions, we're proud to share these stories. Because every woman's journey deserves to be heard. Because women who talk know how to listen.
The Pod Network Entertainment.
Meet the Press podcast for the best in entertainment features four of the most respected and formidable media journalists: Marinel Cruz of the Philippine Daily Inquirer, Bobby Requintina of Manila Bulletin, Natalie Tamada of the Philippine Star, and Noel Ferrer of PEP, Malaya, and Radio Karipunan. Listen in on interviews with newsmakers as these four hosts dissect entertainment news to clear the ground for a better and more progressive Philippine entertainment industry.
We're here now in Meet the Press. Ako po si Noel Ferrer. Kasama ko sina
Marinel Cruz of Inquirer,
Natalie Tumada of the Philippine Star,
and Robert Requintina of the Manila Bulletin.
At hetong kasama natin, isang renowned chef na ang daming pag-aaring restaurants or kasosyo sa mga restaurants. Pero, ang maganda niyan, bukod sa mga libro, he has parang transported himself to another medium, yung digital, at active na active siya doon. So, nandito po si Chef Mike Sarto, ang social ng pangalan niya, pero ang tawag sa kanya, Chef Tatong. Hello, Chef Tatong. Magandang araw.
Good evening, everyone. Kinakabahan ako dito sa interview na to.
Hindi.
thank you for saying yes to us.
As a starter, si Gaita just passed away. Ano yung impact ng pagyao ni Gaita sa inyo? Are you still in a shock?
Kasi taga-food industry kami. So earlier that day, before pa nag-public announcement, meron ng parang, may nangyari na something kay Gaita. Kasi members din kami ng restaurant association, there's a chef association, so gano'n. Sabi ko, hope it's not true. Parang, of course, hindi naman expect na gano'n, di ba, si Paz, pero may nangyari daw. So kami talaga in anticipation kami. And when it was announced na wala, confirmed na siya na, talagang in shock kami. At lalo na yung circle namin, kasi we're the circle na we often have events together, pag mag-showcase and ganyan. So parang it's very close to home yung nangyari sa kanya. Parang pamilya kami mga chefs, di ba? Parang gano'n. That we know each other, parang gano'n. But for Gaita kasi talagang very impactful yung contributions niya sa culinary world, no?
Sa'yo personally, Chef Tatong.
Diba? I had the opportunity kasi to represent the Philippines in Madrid Fusion. Not in the Philippines, but in Madrid itself. Si Gaita was one of the people who recommended me and vouched for my parang at that time. So for me, parang to be recognized at that time, many years ago by Gaita, and also to have the chance to represent the Philippines, malaking impact siya sa career ko, di ba? Na he provided so much. And obviously, aside from that, it's more of beyond the professional. Personal mo kasi siyang kilala, di ba? Nakakasama kita, nagta-travel.
Nalutuan ka niya, Chef Tatong, at ano yung nagustuhan mong ginawa niya na pagkain para sa'yo?
Actually, wala namang nilutuan ako personally, pero we've been into events that we cook together. No? Maraming events na gano'n nag-showcase kami sa Madrid Fusion. The last time we were together with Gaita was in Cebu. during the New Year gastronomy event, and we cook together. Tawa lang kami ng tawa doon, wine, parang ganon. So, alam mo, yung what I really love about Gaita, kahapon kasi we were there at Survey. Sobrang laki ng, alam mo, like, the who's who of the industry was there, di ba? Kagabi, kasabay namin dumating si Presidente at si First Lady.
At may side note doon, si Presidential First Lady nakaka-bump off ni Risa Hontiveros first time. Parang kakaiba.
Anyway, so, yung sa akin kasi like, imagine, she commands that type of influence in the country. Di ba? Lahat ng Donya nandun sa wake niya. Pero, knowing her personally, napaka-down to earth, napaka-humble, parang assuming, di ba? For example, pumunta kami sa farmers. Pagkausap yung farmers, parang mga tao, parang ganun na. Even with so much experience, even having all that exposure, pag nagtanong siya ng something doon sa mga farmers, sa mga kusinera doon sa mga probinsya, parang honest question. Di ba kasi may tao kasi nag-a-ask just to show na marunong ka ba? Di ba may ganun kasi? Yung Margarita talaga is really curious. It's really like, at her caliber, at her level, di ba best chef of Asia? Pero, magtanong siya yung out of honest curiosity. So, parang doon talaga ako napapascinate sa kanya. Then, na-enlarge pa talaga yung thing kay Margarita. When I was there, naman, oh my God, di ba? Just being a chef, then she commands that type of attention and parang respect from not only from the culinary world pero from all walks of life, di ba?
Last question, si Gaita kasi, she passed on alone. Palaging tanong to ni Bobby pero ako na magtatanong niyan. Hindi ka ba natakot, Chef Tatong, na baka yun nga ikaw din mag-pass on alone? Wala bang nagpapatibok na puso mo? Gusto mo sana meron din na hindi ka nag-iisa pag yumao ka.
Wala naman akong ganong fear. I'm happy being single.
Pero tama na yung positioning mo as virginal, no?
Oo, tama talaga. Yun talaga.
O ayan na si Marinel na una magtatanong.
Hi, Chef. Ano yung nakikita mong impact nung pag-pass on ni Chef Gaita sa community nyo lang mismo? Kasi nga sabi mo nga parang hindi lang naman sa industry ninyo, from all walks of life, connected siya. So, sa industry ninyo, meron bang big impact yung kanyang passing on?
Sobrang laki ng impact niya sa industry. Number one, among fellow chefs, yung realization na, uy, kailangan natin mag-alaga ng sarili. No? Yung emphasis on health. Kasi of course, siguro, ilan sa amin, parang mukhang napaka-glamoroso ng ginagawa, di ba? Pero in truth, working in the kitchen, working behind the scenes, sobrang nakakapagod, very taxing, no? Diba yung mag-prep, mag-supervise, mag-open ng restaurant. Ang dami pa siya naka-line up na bubuksan, di ba? So, talagang feeling ko talaga na umabot talaga yung point na parang physically exhausted. Though yung spirit mo, di ba? When you love what you're doing, sometimes you don't feel na pagod ka kahit yung katawan mo pagod. So, I think yun din yung nangyari kay Margarita na she just loved life so much. She just loved what she does that hindi niya masyadong nafe-feel yung... Kasi diba, when you're doing what you love, that experience is really spiritual. Yung parang very spiritual, parang I'm doing what I meant to do. So yung physical pagod mo, parang hindi na siya nabibigyan ng attention masyado. And I think it just reached a point na parang, the body couldn't take more, gano'n. So, yun talaga, realization namin siya. Yung pangalawa, ako kasi, I know Margarita has been very generous to the younger chefs around, no? So, sa kasi, when she spends time with you and she mentors you, she's also very honest. Wala ka siyang bayad ng insecurity. Gets mo? Diba? So, when she's with other chefs, younger chefs na who want to live up, generous siya magbigay, generous siya na gano'n. So, I have several friends na chefs din na much younger than I am, na much closer to Margarita than I was. Shattered talaga sila. As in talagang ramdam nila na may nawala. Parang very personal. Kasi ako, I feel it's more than others kasi I know her personally. Pero I think it feels more painful for those na who really have that working relationship na they spend more time sharing about life. Kasi ganun si Margarita, pagkasama mo siya sa ganyan Isang kwento as in ganun siya
Okay, thank you for sharing yung mga experiences mo with Chef Gaita. May isa pa po kasing parang burning issue sa industry na yung whether it's okay to innovate or not, especially yung mga classic Filipino dishes. So medyo move on na muna po ako kay Chef Gaita na parang, yun nga, di ba, parang yung iba gusto nila innovation while others medyo may pagka-purist sa pag-reinterpret ng mga Filipino dishes. Ano po yung thoughts nyo dito?
Ako?
Yes.
Ako kasi, I respect the polarity of views because that is what pushes Filipino food forward, no? While one perspective grounds us in tradition and history, but the other one pushes us forward because innovation without rootedness will lead us to a cuisine that may not be meaningful or relevant to the Filipino people. But a cuisine that is stagnant can also limit our growth and development. So, maganda talaga yung dalawang pagbabangga ng perspectives, no? And ako, I am of the belief that there is a way to meld both, di ba? Sa totoo lang, dito sa Pilipinas, huwag na tayo magkunwari na talagang very traditional kasi basic ingredients natin are already imported. Bigas, galunggong, sibuyas, asin, asukal, puro imported. So, to be overly protective of our cuisine from that perspective, hindi na rin siya realistic kasi wala na nga, hindi natin naalagaan yung ating agriculture, hindi natin naalagaan ang ating mga natural resources and all that. But on the other hand, it's also important as we innovate, we are able to put more technological and scientific perspectives to be able to resolve food security. Ako naman, I come from the belief na hindi lang siya dahil sa kwento ng ating pagkain, pero it's really about feeding the nation. So, aside from, ako, I would rather, like, sige, hindi masyado traditional, pero napakain ko naman yung pamilya ko. Gets mo? Diba? Kasi hindi naman pwede na sasabihin mo, anak, huwag muna tayo mag-dinner kasi yung kaldereta natin, hindi ako nakabili na chorizo bilbao na authentic. So, huwag muna tayo kumain kasi hindi authentic to. Di ba? You cannot do that. Di ba? It has to move because the real role of food is to nourish a nation. Kaya, nagkakaroon ng innovation, nagkakaroon ng pagbali ng Filipino cuisine. Ito lang yung meron tayo, di ba? There is also an economic reason why people innovate. Di ba? Ito lang yung budget mo. Sasabihin mo, di ako gagamit ng mga powder, di ako gagamit ng mga cubes. Yung pera mo, ano bibili mo? Yung
mahal na kamatis.
Di ba? Exactly, di ba? So, there are economic choices. So, I do not want to judge.
Chef, last question about Filipino cuisine. What do you think is missing para mag-shine siya globally?
Number one, the reason why Filipino food is not shining is because we are not taking care of our agricultural sector. No? Alam naman natin kung pag-usapan natin, sobrang dami din, from agrarian reform to support of farmers, ang dami-daming issues. And for me kasi, I had the opportunity to represent the Philippines in a lot of international events. Pero ako naman, I come from the prinsipyo ko kasi na kung nagluluto ako ng Filipino food in a global stage, pero ang ginagamit ko lahat ng ingredients na hindi galing sa Pilipinas, ano ang saysay na pinopromote mo ang Filipino food kung hindi nakakatulong siya sa ekonomiya ng Pilipinas? Filipino food being a cultural treasure of the Philippines, when it is promoted and it is sold abroad, it should benefit the people who owns that cuisine or culture. So for me, dapat sana naman lang magluto ka ng adobo. Hindi naman sana apple cider yung gamit mo or Japanese soy sauce kasi you look down at the local brands. Di ba? Tama, di ba? So parang kasi, I will promote the local brands because it is enabling our nation to sustain by promoting our culture. If you look at like the experience of Korean culture worldwide, food, di ba grabe? You can buy Korean ingredients anywhere. Korean music, Korean novela, technology, cars. So imagine the economic impact of their culture towards their economy. So dapat ganun yung tingin natin sa Pilipino. Huwag na tayo masyado yung mga foreigner na praise sa atin, pero wala tayong pakinabang, wala tayong kinuta. Very business-like na yung approach natin sa pag-alaga ng ating national treasures like our cuisine.
Thank you, Chef. Oh, guys, take it away.
Hello, Chef. Robert here. Chef for FB Friends. Remember,
More.
ilalike mo yung mga post ko sa Team Delhi when I eat there.
Oh,
I
yes.
love chicken and Galantina, which incidentally rhymes with my surname, Regentina. Ang sarap at saka laki ng serving, no? Tsaka I also like the strawberry shortcake. Pero, chef, ano ba? Aside from being a chef, you're also a writer. So tell us about, what do you write ba?
Nagsimula kasi talaga po as a writer no?
Mhm.
So, I used to be a journalist like you before I became a chef. So, yung pagsusulat at saka yung trabaho sa media, medyo part talaga ng dugo ko. So,
Mhm.
now I write a column on the simple.ph platform called Wash Day that comes out every Tuesday. I'm also an author of books and parang may award naman ako for my cookbook sa Portugal this year. Pero wala pang confirmation sa details.
Wow.
Pero they already sent na letter for me to confirm my attendance sa Portugal. And this is for the World Gourmand Award. So, siguro medyo may swerte din tayo sa field na ganun.
Yes, it's a writing. Pero chef, I know masyado kang busy, pero what's a regular day for you?
Regular day for me.
It's an ordinary day for you.
Dati, ganito. I'm an early riser. So usually, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, gising na ako. Pero ngayon, I have decided in the last few months to sleep enough. So right now, sleep up to mga 9. Latest 9 na yan o'clock.
Oh my
Then
God,
I
9, it's 10, past 10 o'clock na.
So I head to the office. First I always go to the office, check. Then depende kung may shoot ako or later I go around the restaurants and have my meeting. So every day yan. Like up to now, nandito pa rin ako sa Team Delhi kasi nag-shoot kami ng bagong menu. So usually my day ends late and 9 o'clock maaga na yun, sometimes up to midnight.
9. Anong bagong menu ang sinushoot nyo dyan, chef? Pwede
Meron ka yung new item, mga Filipino items pa rin na lalabas Gourmand next week.
Mga Immortal, listen to the Underpaid Podcast with me, Stanley Chi, wherein we talk about work-related topics in a light manner na parang nagchichismisan lang tayo or nagkukwentuhan. Listen for free on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or kung saan ka man nakikinig ng podcast. Kita-kits!
Chef, follow up sa sinabi ni Marilyn kanina, no? So, nag-shine na yung adobo, yung lechon abroad. What would you say the next best bet ng Philippines in terms of food? Sa nakikita nyo?
Wala akong prediction with regards to that. Pero I think what the foreigners are looking, like, it's very timely din kasi because they announced yesterday na pagpasok ng Michelin Awards dito sa Philippines.
Yes.
Starting 2026 na yung magsimula yung award. And I think we are really looking for a more sophistication. Hindi siya dish-based, but it's really the execution of the dish, presentation, service. So, total package na yung hinahanap ng mga tao when we talk of Filipino cuisine. Hindi na siya by dish because if you go around the Philippines, Filipino food is really very diverse, very interesting. Kaya, yun, I think more education will come from Filipinos, especially the younger generation of Filipino chefs are really very encouraged, no? And very driven, very ambitious yung mga young chefs natin. So, hindi natin alam ano mangyayari kasi napaka-creative ng mga batang chefs ngayon.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, chef.
Walang love life na question. Question mo yun.
Ano mga sagot? Wala ko masagot, zero. As in zero.
Akala ko tinanong mo na kanina. No,
Nahiya si Poppy. Pero siya talaga yung nagtatanong nun, chef.
Hindi, throwback ang tanong ko.
Love life. Natutrauma yung mga guests namin.
Yes.
Hindi yung nagdi-deny ako na gusto ko talaga kung meron. Kung meron.
Okay, Koli.
Open. Diba? Hindi ko inaayawan. Wala lang talaga.
The for now, wala. Okay. Thank you, chef.
Go, Natalie.
Hi, chef. Paano?
Kababata.
Diba?
Kababayan.
Hindi ko kami kababayan.
Bayan pala.
Nakwento ko na kasi sa kanila kanina na parang even before you became a celebrated chef, I knew you as a...
The big chef.
Big chef daw.
Celebrated. Hindi kasi I knew you as a journalist and I knew you as a talent manager. So, I remember mga early 2000, parang pumunta kami sa Manila. I remember mga Cebu-based journalists pa kami. We went to your place in QC. Wala ka pang restaurant noon, but you just love entertaining friends. Parang it
Yes.
started out that way. So, I'm curious ngayon talaga, paano pala naging ganun yung reinvention mo? Sino nagbigay sa'yo ng break para maging chef?
Actually, yung, alam mo, parang, it was just a series of parang unfortunate accidents and parang serendipity din siguro or parang calling. Kasi ang una talagang nakapansin sa akin talaga is the late Gina Lopez, no? So, for one reason or the other, our paths crossed. So, gusto ko na. So, I started cooking and catering for her. Ganon. Then the Lopez family. Then one thing led to the other. So, parang ganon siya. Pero, on hindsight, pakikita ko talaga na siguro your journey, though hindi mo siya ma-predetermine kung ano yung dadaanan mo. Pero, I feel that now I'm coming full circle, di ba? From being a journalist to being in entertainment, then culinary, then publishing, and now I'm able to do all of it together, no? Under my company, I have a company, it's called Vertical Creative. It's a production and media company. So, lahat ng pinagdaanan ko pala, it was a training ground for me to do whatever I am doing today. So right now, of course, I run restaurants. I also publish books right now. Ako na rin yung publisher na aking mga books kasi when ABS lost its franchise in the pandemic, I bought back all the rights of my book and we started self-publishing. Then we built a company. And nag-umagang kay ganda din ako for a time, di ba? TV, ABS, ANC, then lifestyle channel. Then now we're producing a lot of videos. Kasi when I was a talent manager, I was also directing videos at that time, di ba? Producing music. So parang, sabi ko, lahat pala ng pinagdaanan ko, nagagawa ko ngayon. So siguro parang, it was like divine intervention to lead me towards this path.
Pero isang ban lang ba yung minanage mo noon?
Pero company kasi at the time in Cebu. And we found it, so marami kaming minanage.
Hindi mo na na-miss yun, mag-manage?
Right now, our company manages chefs. Pero kung sasabihin mo, music, parang hindi ko na kaya. Kasi dati, happy. Pero parang hindi ko na kaya, hindi na ako uminom ngayon.
Okay. Yun lang yung question ko kasi happy lang ako talaga for you as a proud Cebuana.
Okay, to wrap this up, Chef Tato, pagkain ha, magme-mention ako ng mga band names na kasabay ng QC. Anong gusto mong ihain sa kanila at bakit? Okay? Game, sa QC, anong gusto mong ihain sa kanila at bakit?
Sasabi ko sila lang Banana Q. Kasi nag-start kasi yung name ng... kasi yung name kasi ng QC, nag-start ka sa Banana Q yan. Kasi ang original kasi na vocalist nila, babae.
Okay.
Yung nila lagi was Banana Q. Kaya naging QC sana yan eh.
Q, Banana Q.
Oo, yun. Doon talaga nanggaling.
So ano yun? Bakit ka umalis doon?
That time kasi, talagang na-burn out ako. Because that was the time when piracy was at its peak. Diba?
Yes.
We were managing not only QC marami din kami minamanage like Zel. May mga hits din yung ibang artists. Pero talagang na-burn out ako. So I was in the music industry for around a decade also. Then, imagine mo yung araw-araw ka, nasa gig, araw-araw, di ba? Yung...
Hindi ka na in love doon?
Sa kanila, wala.
Okay, game. Baka ipagtanggol mo. Tingnan natin. Kung magluluto ka para sa Hale, hindi ba yun yung katapat ng QC, di ba? O ano ihahain mo para sa Hale?
Anong ihahain ko kay Hale? Hindi ko alam. Dinamita? Mga friends naman yan sila.
Pero hindi ka na sa competition nila noon? Sila yung magkakatapat?
Actually, ako just very candid. At a certain point kasi nung pinagbabangga sila, lumalabas kasi yung yabang. Di ba? Alam mo yung mga banda, yabang. So, medyo naging toxic na rin towards the end eh. Yung parang, di ba, nag-aangasan na sa gigs, mga ganun. May ganun klaseng mga energies. Pero, wala namang away talaga.
Sino pa yung nilalabay sa QC? So, QC, Hale, ang Itchy Worms ba nakaano doon?
Ang Itchy Worms medyo parang huli.
After na Moonstar 88?
Nakakasama din namin yan. Pero, si Moonstar kasi medyo nauna si Moonstar. Moonstar, nagpalit-palit kasi ng mga vocalist, di ba?
Okay, anong ihain mo sa kanila, sa mga babaeng yan? Magagaling sila.
Feeling ko, sir, salad lang sila para wag tumaba.
Okay, sige. Game. Tapos mayonnaise, mga ganyan eh ba? Yung mga kasabayan nila?
Si mayonnaise kasi mga dulo na yan ng mga, parang sa Banshin at that period, yung mayonnaise, nandun na sila sa mga later parts.
So ano yung ihahain mo sa mayonnaise?
Sisig, di ba? Mayonnaise, bagay sa sisig.
Bagay sa sisig. Oh.
Okay, game. River Maya or Eraserheads? Ano mas gusto mo noon? Ay, ang tagal.
Malalaman ko mo kasi generation, di ba? Generation Eraserheads talaga, di ba?
Okay.
Diba, you follow si ganun. Most of them, pero mas nakatrabaho namin yun sila Ellie dahil of the record label. Para kami na record label.
Intro voice or after image?
Di ko naabutan sila.
Ay, maang-maangan School of Acting.
Pero hindi ko sila nakasama at that time. Wala. Pero pareho lang, oo.
Ako, Ares Pacotsaga, tsaka sino yun? Tsaka Wency Cornejo, di ba?
Oh, si Wency kasi, one of the artists we manage, also from Cebu, yung stage crew, sila nag-revive kasi ng song ni Wency for the movie Jologs.
Okay.
So, nakatrabaho ko yun si Wency. So,
wrap up na natin tong interview. Chef Tatong, ano yung future ng industry? Ngayong panahon na, di ba yung mga tao, parang naghahanap ng alternative na murang pagkain pero masustansya. Paano na?
Actually, napaka-interesting na question at napaka-interesting din ang sagot dyan. There's a study by a group in Singapore na nagsasabi, the future of the food industry in the Philippines is really the convenience store.
Oh.
Kasi based on economics kasi natin, in the next few years, there will be a high level of what you would call underemployment. Kasi yung Filipinos really value education. Yung ating economy kasi, it's not very industrial, and also agriculture is not very, not very well taken care of. So, ang na-foresee ng study group na nito is that we will be mostly in the retail, online retail. So, the biggest, nakakatakot, parang sabi nila, the biggest employer of Filipinos in the year 2030 and above would be nasa Grab, nasa mga ganon, nasa Lalamove, nasa logistics sector. And because the population of Philippines by 2030, 50% of the population will be 30-year-old below without dependents. So there will be lesser people getting married and gano'n na. Ang inaasikaso nila yung sarili nilang nila. Yun, because of the inability, yung spending power ng Pilipino, hindi masyadong mataas daw. So, convenience food yung choice na kakain. So, it's really like a scary prediction. Pero, yun nga, we hope it doesn't go that way. Kaya it's very important that our leaders in the government and in the public sector really tries to, steer the company into the right direction.
Pero chef, yung sa Japan naman, nasa convenience store ang egg salad, di ba, na sandwich, na masarap. Paano tayo? Ano yung pwede nating mabili na hindi cup noodles?
Actually, right now, kung makikita mo yung mga convenience store, they're really expanding their selection. Pero still the same, kasi may ceiling ng what the Filipinos can afford. So, alam mo, if you compare the presyo ng nasa Pilipinas compared to a lot of other countries, tayo yung pinakamahal na food ingredients-wise, di ba? So, talagang mag-affect. So, dito na sa quality mag-compromise.
Okay.
Kasi a lot of our products are all imported Wala tayong unlike, di ba, yung sibuyas galing sa atin. So, mas mura, mas gano'n, di ba? A lot imported inputs So, more expensive. And that's a struggle also of the restaurant industry right now, yung availability of ingredients na locally sourced, affordable, and all that. Kasi halos half of our supplies are already imported.
So, paano ka lalaban? Anong lalagay mo sa convenience store na product mo?
Ay, magpa-plug ba ako? Pero, yun na lang. It's really have to find ways to make it cheap, affordable, delicious. In a way, masakit isipin, you really cut corners. So instead of using real ingredients, you're using synthetic, you're using a lot of parang preservatives. Ganun na yung mangyayari. Kasi reality is, if it does not work economically, hindi mo masusustain.
Oh, but let's end in a good note. Chef Tatong.
Going back to the advocacy of Margarita Forest, wherein you go back to helping the farmers, discovering indigenous ingredients and all that. Hindi lang sa dahil it's a fancy thing to do, but there is real merit in the work of people who go back to the countryside and discover what is available to us. So, di ba napakita natin na ang contribution, again, to Margarita Forrest, for leading the way. She's one of the proponents of Terra Madre, of the slow food and all that, helping farmers, introducing local crops to the mainstream, and all that. Yun talaga yung importante. And it's such a big loss. Like, napaka painful sa amin because like even for the coming of not only Madrid Fusion before, but even the Michelin, Margarita was one of the most important players that allowed it to happen. And to make the formal announcement on the first day per week, napakasakit.
Ang galing.
Diba?
Well, parang nag-full circle yung interview. Maraming salamat, Chef Tatong.
Full circle. How?
For gracing Meet the Press. And then ang wish namin, sana magka-love life ka. Thank you.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.